Good evening. Welcome to the 45th episode of Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. I have just a few announcements. If you've noticed, I've been making this announcement for quite a while, but just to make sure, if you catch it on this go round, Panther City Review issue 4 is coming up on the launch. So if you'll be in the North Texas area on Saturday, November 16th from 4 to 5:30 p.m. and you can make it to Fort Worth, we'd love to have you come out to Leaves Book and Tea on St. Louis Avenue in Fort Worth for author signings from this year's issue. We'll have books available for purchase, as well as the ability to make some drink purchases from Leaves Book and Tea. So please come out and join us. The official event page is up over on Facebook. So if you do Facebook, definitely, if you're on here, you probably do Facebook. But some people watch this on YouTube. So if you're not on Facebook, make sure that you check out that event page and check out the website. And you'll be able to click on that you're going for the event page, and it will remind you that that event will be coming up on the 16th. Of course, I have one more episode to remind you after this, so make sure that you that you pay attention next time. It will be the last time you get a reminder from me. So, also, I do want to give a little shout out to the Publish Page Bookshop in Cleburne, Texas. If you are down around Cleburne anytime in the next month or so, definitely go check that out. I know Jim Hart will be glad to have you come by. He is the second bookstore that does carry all of the Sleeping Panther Press title lists that we have. So as soon as I get Panther City Review up and going, well, not only will we have all of our books at Leaves, but we'll also have them at the Publish Page. So go by, check out Jim, and have a look around the store. I was there just yesterday, and I walked away with 7 books. So, I kind of like books anyways, but I was able to drop some books off, and then I picked some up as I was going. So, definitely check Jim out. How is your NaNoWriMo writing going for this month? So, November is National Novel Writing Month. So if you are doing NaNoWriMo, just doing a little check-in with you real quick. Right now, my word count is at 5,201. I got there early this morning. So I'm slightly ahead of schedule by about 200 or so words. So if you're going by the 1,667 words a day, that definitely puts me ahead of schedule, thank goodness, because I'd rather be ahead at this point. But if you're not, that's okay, because you have time. It's only November 3rd. You can catch up to that. All right, let's get on with the topic for tonight. So the topic is the 4 things every author website must have. So it kind of varies, but there are things that everybody should have on their website. So if you're going to be an author, you'll need to have some sort of online presence. If you're not doing social media, or even if you are, a website is probably going to be the first place that if you have a book out, people are going to look up and see who you are. So you'll want to make sure that you have info. I know I keep moving. My light's weird tonight. I think it's the time change. It's darker behind me, so it's going to take me a minute to get used to that. Sorry about that. But author website. So if you're building your platform, if you're hosting a blog, whatever it is that you are doing to interact with your readers on your website, you may even just be providing a behind-the-scenes process of how you are doing your work. You're going to need to have some kind of a home base on the internet for a majority of your online marketing activities. And it needs to be something that is separate from social media. And so you can't always rely on social media being there, and you don't want to have some other group in charge of all of your marketing. So there are a few successful authors that don't have websites, very, very few though. Most of the successful authors that you'll read about, even anywhere online, they're going to have an author website to market their work. So if you're going to copy anything, copy something like that is successfully working for them. It should be a well-functioning website that can get the information that you need your readers to see about you. So one of the things that you're going to definitely want to be able to do is to ensure that you have a very clean site that is very easy to navigate. If you notice, if you've gone and looked at my websites, I've been working on this myself. I have the RachelPilcher.com and RachelPilcherWritingWorkshops.com pretty well cleaned up. It's very basic. I like basic. I'm not a huge fan of those websites that you have to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and then finally you get to the bottom. I like the button picture icons that I have on there. It's very simple. And if I ever change my websites up, it's going to be something very similar to that. It might be a little bit more sophisticated, but I'm pretty happy with what's going on there. I am transitioning Sleeping Panther Press and the Panther City Review websites to that probably within the next week or so. So it's going to be similar, and I like having that same similar layout. So something that's very clean. So in doing that, I am looking at the top things that I need to do, and just from what I have come up with, looking at other websites, looking at advice that others are giving on what you need to have in your websites to make them more accessible to your readers, this is just what I came up with, what I was able to do, the top 4. So the first one, it should be that you should have the latest news right in front and center on your website. So you'll want to feature all your new content first. So you'll have to determine what the readers are coming to your website to look for, and they're going to be looking at your website and going, okay, why should I buy this person's book? So you're going to need to use this very first thing that they see is the promotion for your book. You have to make sure that is what they see when they look at your page. You can have a picture of yourself on there. I know I have a picture of myself kind of buried in the About page. But most of the content that I have on there is product. And I'm not technically the product. It's the writing that's the product. It's the business that's the product. So that's what I put front and center. So if it's your book that's the product, you need to make sure that the readers that are coming to your website know that you have a book. That is one of the first things they should see. I have a book. This is what it's called. And if you have a blog, go and look at my blog too. But I have a book. So they need to be able to do that. So that leads to number 2, which is that there must be an obvious call to action. What do you want the visitors to your website to do? That is probably going to be, you want them to buy your book, or you want them to sign up for updates. So if you do have a very active blog, you want to make sure they sign up for updates so they can get the latest news, the latest notice that you are blogging and that they need to go and read your blog. You need to, you may want to get their name on a mailing list. Every website needs to have some kind of action that they want the reader to take when they get there. So for me, it's not just reading the things that I write, but also going and looking at Sleeping Panther Press and saying, oh, she also publishes. Let's go look and see if there's any books that we want to buy. Oh, she teaches writing workshops. Let's go see what she has going on sometime soon. There's all of that. So there needs to be a call of action to get them to do something, to interact, instead of just like, oh, well, there's the website. Let's see what's going on. You need more than that. So number 3, you need a clear way for people to contact you. So this can be social media profiles that are active. So if you go to either the RachelPilcher.com page or Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops, you'll notice at the very bottom it says connect to me on social media, and I have links to all of the social media that are related to my business and to myself. So you have to make sure that you have that. They need to be able to see where they can follow you. But they should have a way where they can contact you directly. So I actually have an email address that is connected with my website listed on the page, and people can click on that. They can email me. It's rachel@rachelpilcher.com. Very simple. You can do, your name at gmail.com and just have just that email going there, but they have to have some way to contact you. You can have a widget that goes in on your website so that maybe it's not a direct email, but it is a way in which people can contact you and you can make contact back with them. But somehow you need to be able to make it so that people have the ability to contact you, because that direct line makes you a more likable and approachable person. It's kind of weird, but people feel like, oh, I can send them an actual message and they may contact me back. I like that about this person. They're not just some random fake person that's standing back and not letting things happen. So that's something that you need to take into account of. And number 4, absolute 100%, and I'm definitely going to be getting more on that in the next couple of months, because I do have some big things coming up in the very near future besides the launch of Panther City Review. But you have to have a link with promotion of upcoming events. So if you're going to be doing a book signing, if you're going to have readings, if you're going to have anything where you're going to be showing up, if you're going, like I even promote, if you go on my website, I promote that I'm going to be at the Writing Workshops Dallas Happy Hour, which there's one coming up this Tuesday. I may be at. We'll see. I do have to go vote. So didn't get in the early voting. But you have to make sure that you are promoting the upcoming events that you are going to be at. Because, sorry about that, dog, cat, they don't always get along. But you have to be able to make sure that people know where to find you, because if they can find you, then they can possibly buy a book, have you sign it, you get to talk to them, they get to have better interaction with you, and the more in-person interaction that you have with people, the more likely it is that they are going to continue reading you, whether it is buying a book in person right then, or if it's following you and then going, it's like, well, let's see what else they might have later on. Let's go to Amazon, let's go to Barnes & Noble, let's go to the independent bookstore, see if they're carrying the book, order the book from them. But being able to know where you are when you're doing something on a professional capacity as an author is very helpful to the public. And it also shows, from my publisher standpoint, if I'm a publisher and I'm looking at someone, it's like, oh, well, they've published before, especially if you have published before, how do they promote themselves? That's how I look at things too. I look at the websites. I look at my current authors. I look at my writers and say, okay, well, how are they promoting themselves? Are they getting out there? Are they doing what they need to do to let people know where they are and what they're doing? So that's it. I mean, it's 4 very basic things, but it's kind of the difference between having a website that is accessible to readers and is going to get the most out for you and them, and not having anything, or having something that is not functional to be able to get information out so that people can easily find it. So just take that into consideration whenever you're building your website. And if you already have a website, look at your website and say, okay, am I doing these things that are going to make it easier for people to know what I'm about, what I'm doing, where I am, how to get in touch with me, and what I want them to do. Very easy. Okay, if you found this information helpful, please make sure that you click the like button right over here, and feel free to share this video with others who may benefit from my words of advice. Thank you for joining me tonight. I wish you luck on NaNoWriMo if you're still doing it, and if you're not, it's only November 3rd. You can still do it. You can. It's very easy. Just get in there and start writing. I look forward to being with y'all again next Sunday right here on the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops page for another writerly discussion. Have a good evening.